and welcome back to the NWA 1983 project. I'm your host, Juan Cena, and with me, as always, is Matt Riley. How you doing tonight, Matt?
I am full of piss and vinegar.
You're full of shit, that's what you are.
Oh, I won't be for long.
So in this episode, we have a large closed-circuit event from Mexico. That's right, folks. We're going down to EMLL. And on tonight's card, we'll see Harley Race taking on the Blue Demon for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. In addition, you'll see Terry Funk taking on Wahoo McDaniel, Pero Aguayo taking on Mondo Guerrero, Mil Mascaras taking on Gino Hernandez. And in a six-man match, Bobo Brazil, El Santo, Bruiser Brody taking on the original Sheik, Tiger Jeet Singh, and Abdullah the Butcher. So I think this is a packed card. Unfortunately, I think I said this on a previous episode, the servers for WWE 2k16 no longer exist, so I cannot download any more wrestlers. I wanted to have more luchadors on the show, but unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. So, boo. And it goes to show you, like, we're going to continue into 1984, so we're going to end up, our last show for the NWA 1983 project will be a event, Shea Stadium show in 1984 in April. After that, we have the NWA 1984 project. And I'm debating to myself right now if I should use WWE 2k18 or should I use Fire Pro World as the engine for the show moving forward. Both of them have their pros and cons. But I haven't made that decision yet. I am leaning towards Fire Pro because I think that's, it's something that we can use long term for a long time, and we don't have to wait till the servers go down for 18 as we're going through the process here, like we did for 16. We basically just skipped over 17 completely. We do have a couple of shows, Retro Wrestling Spotlight, using the WWE 2k17 engine, but that game sucked. And we're going to do a full review of that show at some point, but I thought that game was just drizzling shits, and it wasn't intuitive. But we'll get into a full review of that show on Retro Wrestling Games Presents down the road. In addition, so I have a special announcement. We're adding a fifth member to our team. Luke Martin, who will be our modern wrestling correspondent. He is a little bit more enthusiastic about modern wrestling than maybe me and Matt are. I think the big positive with that is that he missed the entire Attitude Era. So he stopped watching New Generation and then picked up again like right around when CM Punk got popular. So, there's a big gap, and that's probably a pretty positive gap to have because you don't have all the hang-ups that the Attitude Era gave a lot of us.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to work out extremely well. And I've been accused on numerous occasions that I am an Attitude Era hater. And that's not the case. I like the Attitude Era as much as anyone else. But what gets my goat, so to speak, is the calls to bring it back. We need to go back to Attitude Era type stuff. And it's like, we've been there, we've seen it. And as a hot take, the Attitude Era is only good in highlights because some of that shit fucking sucked.
Oh, yeah. When you watch it, not all of it has the watchability that other stuff does.
It doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up at all. Like, even ECW, to a certain degree, doesn't hold up as well. Especially if you're watching on the WWE Network and you don't have all the music attached to it either. It kind of loses its luster quite a bit. So watching the Sandman not come down and Enter the Sandman kind of blows.
Yes.
So
what does he come out to?
Some generic song.
Oh.
It's like, if you're going to have that stuff, just buy the music rights. Like, I know they're expensive, but like, come on, guys. It's a better, in terms of customer service, it's a better product when you have that music involved. So, whatever, it doesn't really matter because ECW was good when Hardcore TV is good because the way they chopped it up. But understand that the matches for Hardcore TV were just regular shows. So if you go back and watch CyberSlam '96.
Yeah.
Like, CyberSlam 96 is not a good show. Like, when you're watching it just straight matches, right? And then angles in between. It's not a good show. So I'm happy that Lucas decided to join us, and he'll be covering the last WWE pay-per-view, No Mercy. So we'll hear from Luke a little bit later on in the show. We're also going to talk about CMML, EMML. There's a lot of cover with CMML. So we may not get to all of it, so we're just going to go over highlights of it. And, I wanted to spend some time right off the bat talking about Lance Russell, who recently passed away. I'm of the opinion that Lance Russell may be the greatest play-by-play commentator of all time. It's him and Gordon Solie.
Oh, Gordon Solie.
Yeah. So when you put them up together in terms of Lance Russell versus Gordon Solie for that top spot, I mean, they're both #1 in my book. They had to commentate different styles, where Gordon Solie called more like straight wrestling matches. Like there's always a Jack Briscoe match that he's calling, and like some of these really good Florida matches. I'm not saying that Florida didn't have its shenanigans as well. See Kevin Sullivan, but in terms of calling a straight wrestling match, if you're into that style, then Gordon Solie's your man. But if you're looking for someone who's calling shenanigans and playing the straight man through all that Memphis stuff, it's Lance Russell. It's like, will you stop, Jerry? Come on, Jerry. Come on.
I still count some of my favorite commentator announcer sayings when Eddie Gilbert was trying to pick a fight with him. And he said, "You got something to say to me, you say it to him." Jerry Lawler comes out and starts beating the shit out of Eddie Gilbert. It just... when I think about Lance Russell, always like his work, he's very low-key. He didn't overstate things per se, but what he did really well is he conversationally called the action.
Yeah.
And he called it very comfortably. He got his point across. He drove the storyline, and that's what they're there for.
He's not screaming. He's not over the top. He's not Jim Ross. I'm talking about early Jim Ross. As straight as you can play is the way he played it. He reminds me of like a Walter Cronkite or a Howard Cosell, where he's not a wrestling personality, but he is in a certain degree. It's weird. He's like your grandpa, and I don't think anyone in the entire world has anything negative to say about Lance Russell. He was just so good. At some of the memories that definitely stick out for me was his call of the empty arena match.
Yes,
like it's amazing.
The thing I want to do is just, yeah, sure. That's okay. Yeah, I just want to do an open in case this crazy thing comes off, and then if it does, we've got something. If it doesn't, all we've lost is a little time on it. So let's see. I guess we got enough light and everything. We can pick it all down. And we'll just, I don't even know that either one of them going to show up. Yeah, okay, pardon me. Let me get rid of the cigarette. Give me a countdown, will you? 5, 4, 3, 2. This is Lance Russell standing in the middle of an empty Mid-South Coliseum. I think most wrestling fans know that Terry Funk, the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, issued a challenge to Jerry Lawler to meet man to man. Of course, Funk had accused Lawler of having homer decisions in his battles with Terry Funk previously and with brother Dory Funk Jr. and so forth. He said, no fans, no officials, no police, nobody, you and me. I guess you just have to call it what he's looking for as a shootout. He made the challenge, asked me to deliver the challenge publicly so that it would be on record that he had challenged Lawler. Jerry Lawler later said, set it up. And so here we are. We're in the Mid-South Coliseum, 11,300 empty seats. And that's all that will be here to witness this particular bout, with the exception of myself and cameraman Randy West. Funk asked that there be a camera and a tape crew here so that we would be able to have a record of his demolishing Lawler in the event that it takes place. It's right now 10 minutes to 1. The time that was set on it was 1 o'clock. Neither of the participants are here at this time. We will just have to wait and see. If it takes place, you'll have a record of it. If it doesn't, then you will never see this. Let's just cut the camera off now, Randy. We'll wait. If they show up, we'll do it, okay? Here he comes. Here he comes.
Where is Lawler? I told you that the son of a didn't have enough guts to come on down here. I said
wait a second.
that the man has everybody on his side.
We would like to use this if it takes place later on, so please watch your language, will you? Because for crying out loud, we can't use a thing with you swearing like that.
I don't give a damn. I came up here for a purpose to prove some son of a thing. And I'll tell you what I came to prove, that Lawler didn't have the guts. I knew that he wouldn't come in the ring, Lance. You tell me where he is. He wouldn't show up for nothing.
It's just a little after 1 o'clock right now. So just watch it, and please try to watch it.
Go ahead, get in the damn ring and go ahead and count him out.
I'm not counting. I'm not the referee in this thing. You asked me to bring the cameras down.
You count him out of the son of a bitch right now.
Hey, come on, Terry.
I told you people that Lawler did not have the guts to come down here before an empty arena, and he doesn't. Now you go ahead and count him out. If you don't, I'll count him out.
All right. Well, you just asked us to bring the cameras down. That's what I did. We're here. Now I'm not a referee.
I'm here.
I know you're
I'm going to go ahead. Is he under the ring, Lance?
Oh, he's not under the ring. He hasn't.
Is he up in the stand?
He hasn't shown up yet.
Press box? Where is he?
I don't know where he is.
Enough damn guts to come down here and meet me in the ring. I'm going to count him out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's out. I'm going to go ahead and declare myself the winner right now.
Okay, fine. That's great.
The man was a coward. That he didn't have the guts, that he didn't have anything, that he didn't have the intestinal fortitude. He is a son of a b****.
All right. Well, listen, okay, you've proved your point on the thing.
I've heard long enough.
All right.
I've heard enough of your I've heard enough of the from the people of Memphis. I've heard enough from everybody about how good this man is supposed to be.
Well, it's just a little. He may have gotten tied up in traffic or something like that. I don't know.
Right now.
Yeah, I know it's after 1.
Now I'm standing around here like an idiot, like a fool.
Well,
I'm a fool. I'm a fool. I'm an idiot.
Okay, so you proved your point.
This kind of crap is funny. He thinks it's funny leaving me sitting around here like this. I knew that the man didn't have enough guts to get up here in the first place.
Yeah.
You tell me.
I tell you that there's a good possibility that he got tied up some way and wasn't coming in here.
Well, where is I?
I know your plane got in on time. I understand that, Terry. Yeah, I know that.
Why don't you go ahead? Why don't you think you're on his side all the time?
Hey.
Why don't you go ahead and come up in here?
I'm not interested in that. Will you knock that stuff off? Look, you're the one that... Hey, come on. Okay, now look, Terry. You asked me to come down here.
I'm an athlete, and you treat me with respect.
Hey, well, wait. I didn't... Okay, I wasn't mean anything personal by it, except give the guy a chance. It's just a couple of minutes past the time. You asked me to come down here and bring the cameramen down here. And we're here. And I'm here in the event that Lawler, we set up to show it and have the match in there. Now, we've done our part of the thing. And the fact that he's not here isn't my fault.
Now, look who's here.
There, over here, Randy.
Look who's there. Well, if it isn't the clown.
Okay, I'm going to get over here and get... I'm going to get...
Hey, Lawler! Come on up here. I'm going to break your crown. I'm going to break his crown, Lance. Look at that fool. Look at that idiot. Don't you realize that there's nobody here? You jack. You're nothing but
Jerry Lawler in his regular wrestling attire with a crown and the cape.
I can't believe that you had the guts to show up. I can't believe he had the guts
to
show up.
He's here, Terry.
I can't believe that he had the guts to show up.
Well, he's here, and he is apparently, obviously ready to go. He's got his full attire, and he is set.
Come on, Lawler. Come on.
We're going to get back over to...
Come on. Come on. What do you got in there? What do you got in there? What do you got? A gun or something on you? You got a knife? You got a knife on you? You got a gun on you? What have you got on you?
I need a gun for you, folks, no knife. I need nothing.
Get back around the table here. Well, here it comes, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on in the ring.
We waited and waited.
There's no referee here. Come on in the ring.
That's right. No referee. No officials.
Jimmy Hart's not under the ring. Look up in the stands. Nobody's up in the stands. Nobody here is going to help me, and there's certainly anybody here that's going to help you. You idiot.
Terry Funk already in the ring. Jerry Lawler now coming up to the... we'll just have to take care of the language on this thing. Funk is just raving.
I'll give you a chance right now. I'll give you one chance. You can go ahead and you can get out of here right now if you want to. I'll give
Funk
you
telling Lawler he'll give him one chance. He can leave right now if he wants to. There's no officials.
You admit to him that I'm a hell of a lot tougher than what you are. Go ahead, get on that microphone.
Terry Funk trying to get Lawler to come say that he's giving it up.
I don't need to talk, Lawler. I don't need to talk. Don't worry, I'm not running my mouth. I asked for this damn thing, not you. I asked for it. I'm here. Well, I'm right here, too.
Well, they're both in the ring right now. Unbelievable, 11,300 empty seats. Terry Funk, Jerry the King Lawler. Up, Funk just spin it, Lawler. They're flailing away. Lawler went into a side headlock. Funk back. They're winding around the ring and outside of it right now. Terry Funk down on the floor. Lawler in the ring.
Back up and let me back in there.
This obviously is a battle to the finish. Funk telling Lawler to back up and let him in the ring. And now Terry Funk back in the ring again. Right in the corner by our timers table. Lawler and Funk going at each other, hammer and tong, down on the mat for the first time. Funk out on the ring apron, and Lawler follows him out in the concrete. Our photographer, and there they go, back in the chairs. Funk down, Lawler pounded on him. Nothing but a street brawl happening right here, and that was the idea that Terry Funk had. Funk picks up 2 chairs, fires them over at Lawler. Terry Funk, Jerry Lawler facing off on the concrete floor. We brought our tape cameras and a still photographer down, and that's the only people that are here witnessing that. Funk down underneath the chairs. Lawler follows it up, comes right over on top of him. And Lawler pounds him. First good shot at. He really zoomed one home. Funk now backing up around the ring. Lawler chasing him out to the other side of the ring. Lawler saying, come on back up here. And Funk grabs one of the identification standards. He butts the top of it off, grabs the bracket with the number still in it. Jerry Lawler in the ring. Terry Funk coming up now, his face bleeding. Lawler really got him one shot over there, put him down in the chairs. Pounding away on Lawler. Lawler, who tried to get out, is knocked down to the floor. Funk throws the standard down. Look out, Ring. Funk now with a pile driver right down on the concrete floor. He bangs it in, blood running down Funk's nose and through his head. He's cut.
Let's see what the hell.
But Lawler down on the floor. He may be out of it with that pile driver down on the floor. Funk wanted Lawler to say, I quit on the microphone, is what he's trying to make him say. Funk going after Lawler at the eyes.
Now tell him! Tell him!
I'm sure you can hear Terry Funk. What a vicious thing. Lawler goes right back into the rows of chairs. Funk knocks over the chairs with Lawler's body, and now Funk across the way slams down the steps leading up to the ring. Uh-oh, he's trying to get a club of some type. He busts off right in half one of the 2x4s. Lawler now trying to get back up, stumbles back into the chairs, but he's back on his feet, and here comes Funk with that spike in his hands. Slams Lawler down on the table. And Terry Funk standing completely wide open. This is awful. I see it, yeah.
Ask him!
Hey, all right, come on, Terry, all right. I got the microphone over here.
You ask him!
Lawler.
Hey, you watch this! Watch this!
Come on, Terry, it's all over with. Terry Funk climbing back up in the ring right now.
Tell him, Lawler! Tell him!
Funk with the... Put the ape, come on, ape. Come on.
Come on, Lawler!
Put that...
Lawler! Tell
Terry.
I'm gonna get his eye! I got his eye! Cameron! I'm gonna get his eye! You some don't tell me!
Well, be
You
in
trying to
your
get
hands.
it?
Don't use grass.
I'm doing it too!
Terry.
Lawler, fighting his way back, has just slammed Terry Funk. Kicked him right in the elbow where he had it. Terry Funk is down now. Lawler back on his feet. Lawler picks up that stick that Terry Funk had.
My eye!
Put it down now. The man's eye. Oh.
I can't see! Doctor! Doctor! God help me! Help me, please help me! Help me!
That's
My
right. His
eye.
eyes hurt bad.
My eye! My,
Okay, we'll get some.
my eye!
Terry Funk,
My eye!
a victim of his own plotting in there. Lawler kicked him right in the elbow, and the stick stuck Terry Funk right in the eye.
Please. Lawler, please! Somebody get me
Okay.
help!
We gotta,
Get me
yeah, we
help.
gotta get a doctor in here on this
Please.
thing, because he really is. Oh,
Get me help!
that's awful.
Get me help! Get me help!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why
You
there are officials assigned to matches to try to keep some kind of order rather than have the animal type of thing that you saw here today.
please, my eye!
Jerry Lawler walks away,
My eye!
I guess, the victor out of it, but they're
Lance, please
pretty
help me,
difficult.
help me.
Okay, listen, Randy, I'm gonna get.
Help me, Lance,
Okay,
please.
wait.
Call a doctor, Lance, please. Call. Look at it, Lowell. Please look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Lance, please. Help me, please.
Okay, I'll go call for it.
God, Lance, please don't leave me here.
I'll get somebody.
Don't leave. The son of a bitch. Get somebody to help me. My eye. My goddamn eye. My eye. Where is he? Where is Lawler? Where'd he go? Where is Lawler? My eye. Where is that chicken? Where's that damn coward? Where's Lawler? He's yellow. Lawler's yellow. He's yellow. Lawler, come back here! You yellow pig! Pig! Pig!
He goes down the arena, it's empty. He goes to, get a cigarette out of his pocket, and he's like, "Oh, you guys, we want to start?" Okay, he chucks the cigarette down, and then his interactions with Terry Funk, and it was.
Come on, Terry.
It was so good.
Clarence.
It was so
You're
fun. For me, when you listen to that's shenanigans. Like Terry Funk pokes out his eye with a stick. He's bleeding. And he's calling it straight, and he's not, breaking character. He's not breaking kayfabe, and he's calling it very serious. And I think that's what made Memphis, is that no matter what happens, whether tar and feathering someone or they're beating someone with belts or whatever craziness that happened, he called it straight and serious. And I think that's one of the things that made Memphis so great. And I for sure, Memphis wouldn't be Memphis without Lance Russell. You can't take him out. He's almost as important as Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
He's the one that discovered Jerry Lawler. So it's super important that people, you need to go back and watch. There's tons of Memphis on the internet. You can get it from Amazon. You can watch it on YouTube. It's everywhere. So there's a lot of Memphis footage out there. And he's amazing. One of the funniest things is when they had the piñata, and Lance went to hit the piñata with Hector Guerrero, and Hector Guerrero played a rib on him where it was full of fucking powder, and the fucking and the powder go over Lance. He got super pissed.
Okay, we're going to be seeing Big Scott Hall in the ring here coming up in just one moment. Before we do, as we had previously had a visit from Hector, we had told him that was an unscheduled one. He just had to come out and make himself known. We had said we're going to, what in the world is the wild Mexican guy? What in on.
Wait a minute, lad. Let's put this over here to the side over here.
Okay.
See, in my country, we don't go around yelling to all you little boys and girls that there's a fat person coming down and try to get down the chimney with all the presents. You see, we bring a piñata. This is a Mexican fiesta style piñata. That's P-I-N-A-T-A. You know, in our language, we got other letters besides the other letters that you have in yours. We got more letters because we're more sophisticated. You all remember, in the royal language, remember that, the royal race and the royal language. But as a piñata is our time of year, it is also a beautiful Mexican fiesta. What we do with our kids, if we fill this piñata, we put all kinds of toys and all kinds of candy, and we put cacahuates, which I stole a little while, which means peanuts, and we put all kinds of little fruits in it, and we hang it up on the top, and we blindfold a person, we turn them around, and we let them try to break it. Now, everybody goes through trying, which you're going to, if you go be not so nice to demonstrate today.
No.
No, wait a minute, Aston. Does everybody want Lance to demonstrate with me?
That's very...
Thanks a lot. Come on, Lance.
Hey.
Lance, did I tell you was my favorite gringo?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will do it.
What is it you want me to do?
Okay, hold on. Well, first we got to do, I want you to hold that right there like that.
Okay.
We're going to take your anteojos are. You know what these are, right?
Yeah.
Remember I told you what those are in Spanish? Anteojos, lentes.
Yeah,
We're going to take these off, okay? Can you see?
Yeah.
Are you as blind as I am? Well, I don't know. Remember what your mother told you not to do when you were a baby? All right, hold on.
All right, Hector. Let's get, hey, we got a match coming up.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Listen. This is my time, okay? Are you stepping up for these gringos again or what?
Hey, all
okay, relax. Hey, you shut up out there. Just relax, okay? You're going to enjoy yourself. What's this? This is your flag. This is the best flag that ever lived. This is where you stole Texas from. Remember that. Hey, what we do is we create a little bandana here that, all the buses walking around.
What is it?
And you know how to do this. You just get it around in a little circle like this. And then after that, we're going to put it right around you so you can't see that.
Hey, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, Lance. You can't see. Now, you said you was going to cooperate.
Yeah, you're right.
Are you going to cooperate or not?
But listen, with a blindfold with you around, what in the world
I promise nothing will happen to you, Lance. I love you. There's a lot of candies that are going to come out, and we're going to give it to all the beautiful kids around the United States so that you can see how good and beautiful our country is to you.
Yeah.
One moment, Mr.
Hey,
Lance.
can we move it on here? I feel like I've gone into the Twilight Zone or something.
This is my time. You understand that?
Yeah.
All right, hold on there.
I hope you all are all worth this for getting this candy out of here. Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay. Now, hold on there. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see, Dave. Can you come over here and hold this here for a little bit? Don't worry, just don't step too close to land.
Well,
Stay right there. Stay right there. Don't move.
Hey, don't be taking my mic.
Wait, right there. Hold on.
Wait a minute, wait.
Hold on now.
Will this mic work?
Yeah, anything you want to do.
Yeah, this mic is working.
What do you got?
Where are you, Dave? Wait.
This is turning off. Everybody,
I'm going to put a mic
off.
here so we can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Now hold it for me, Dave. Just for a moment while I get them all set up and everything.
All right.
I won't throw them around too much because you got too many wires. I wonder if he's made out of some kind of computer or something.
Hector.
Okay, left. So now we got a little.
What have I got here?
Now you got a stick. You're gonna try to hit this stick, okay? Now everybody's gonna try to be quiet or help or yell or whatever you want to do. Hit it, Lassie. That's right.
So all I got to do is break it and we can get this thing over with.
Well, you break it and then you get all the candies that come with it. And they're all for you and your kids.
Okay.
Okay, now, Lassie, I gotta. Okay, Lassie, it's right above you, Lassie. It's right above you, Lassie. Hit it. Lassie, hit it. It's right above you, Lassie. Last, wait a minute, last, it's to your left, Hit it, last, no, last, it's above you, last, it's above you, it's below, it's below, last, it's on the floor, last, wait, a little bit to your right, no, wait, last, wait a minute, stop, I'll tell you where it's at.
Where is it?
I'll tell you where it's at. It's right above you, man. It's right above you. It's right above you. Hit it, Lance. 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 Yeah, you did great.
What is that?
Wait, Lance. Wait. Don't move. Don't move, Lance. Don't move, Lance.
Oh.
Lance. What up? Oh, my God.
Oh.
Oh, this is great.
Let's get this stupid thing.
Get the match underway.
Oh, funny. Really funny. Oh, yeah. I don't want to hear any comments out of you either.
I'll leave you alone 1 minute. Look at it.
Just get in the ring, all right?
What's the matter with this guy?
I tell you, I'm not taking this in. I'm gone.
Let's get the match underway here. It's a handicap match. We got Big Scott Hall in out of Orlando, Florida. He weighs in at 2.
And there was a time with a Dream Machine, like they did this thing where they showed a video of like embarrassing stuff that happened to the Dream Machine. So the Dream Machine comes out with Jimmy Hart, and as the story goes, that he was just supposed to grab the mic away from Lance, but he tripped and like grabbed Lance by the lapel and like shook him down. So he basically took down Lance, and Lance got so mad.
Well, there he is, alley-oop Dream Machine. He had his ups and downs, as you well saw there. And sometimes was like that comic book character, the Dream Machine, who is the current Southern Heavyweight Champ, as a matter of fact. And Jimmy Hart.
What's wrong with you, man? What the hell's the matter with you? I'll beat your stupid ass out, man! Get out! You gonna make me look like a fool? You gonna make me look like a fool, huh? Oh, you gonna make me look like a fool? Huh? Come on! Lala, you will be tarred and feathered! You will be tarred and feathered! I'll kill you, Lala! Nobody makes me look like a cartoon!
Jimmy Hart, the Dream Machine, he's fired. $1,000 right here. You'll pay it or you won't wrestle here today and tomorrow and no other time.
Okay, Eddie, okay.
Lance, I'm
I'm
sorry.
not paying you nothing, anybody!
Just take him
The hell with you! I'm not paying you nothing!
He don't pay it.
I'm not paying you nothing!
Idiot. Yeah, he didn't mean it. All right, get out of here. We'll be back.
And that was another thing too. When Lance got pissed, like it was serious business.
Yeah.
And he's so. I've heard the word warmth. Like a lot of people say warmth when they describe Lance Russell, and I have to agree with that. It made that, it made that show warm to watch, and he is the voice of many people's childhood. Now I wasn't as fortunate to watch Lance, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Living up in New York, but in the late '80s when the tapes started coming around, it would be Monsters of the Mat or whatever, that all Memphis stuff that you can buy from a pharmacy.
Yeah.
Like Hulk Hogan's missing matches, just watching Hulk Hogan get beat up by Jerry Lawler. He called all that stuff, and it was amazing. And he's so unique, and he's so good. And
Yeah, Eddie. Okay. This is to introduce the Black Diamond, known in Mexico as Demente Negro. He does not speak English, but wishes to present Jerry Lawler with a plaque symbolic of the Mexico City's most popular TV wrestler. Please extend your courtesy, Salvador Luderov. Okay. Well, let me, I don't know exactly how to, I don't interview in Spanish too well, so let me say that we just mentioned that Salvador Luderov sent us a wire about this, and it was the first time, because our championship wrestling is on the cable all over Mexico in there, that it was the first time that ever a non-Mexican has been voted the most popular, and of course Lawler was. And coming up to make the presentation was the winner last year. I must say that in his own country in Mexico, this wrestler is well, he is the king of the country down there. Demente Negro, and they call him Casa Grande, the big house. And he is here to make the presentation to Jerry the King Lawler. And if we can get, will you see if Jerry's out there? We want to get him in here for the presentation. And this is okay. This is for Jerry. We got a little communication problem in here, but you understand. And we told you last week we had heard from Salvador about the honor, and Demente Negro is up here as the winner last year of the vote in here to make the presentation, and I think he's got the sombrero there. He's got the hat.
Thank you.
Okay, you got to model it right here.
I have to wear it?
Huh? Yeah, just slip it on there. And let's see what...
Numero uno.
Huh?
Numero uno.
Here. There he is.
How's it look, huh?
Senor the King, right in there. Really, all kidding aside, it's a great honor, and I think you feel that way, too. And I guess it's gracias, is that it? Yeah.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, yeah.
Sí, señor.
And this is the plaque from Mexico, Jerry Lawler. It is indicative of the win. Okay, there it is. Jerry Lawler, voted the most popular wrestler in... Hey, what the hell? Hey, come on. Hey, get somebody out here. What is this stupid guy? Yeah, Hector, tell him in Mexican just to get out of here. We're gonna have to take a break here. Crazy.
Come here, man, I told you! Shut up, bananas! I told you, Lola! I told you, you filthy, stinky piece of garbage! And I loved it when they hauled you out of here! It's about time we cleaned up Memphis! It's about time we got rid of the trash and the garbage and the scum! I want you to know something, punk! I want you to listen to me good. When you get conscious, I hope they play this back. You deliberately, Lola, you deliberately burned my neck. You deliberately tried to blind me. I want you to know something right now. Russell, here's the signed contract. And in it states that I'll wrestle that piece of scum any place, anywhere, anytime he wants to. I don't think you've got the guts, Lola, but somehow, if you muster him up, come and get me because I'm ready. I hate your stinking guts. Your daddy was a wino, and every time Dick and Harry from Bangor to Boston had your mama's phone number, you're scum.
That was a cheap trick, Austin. We're going to take a break, and we're going to get out of here. Austin,
he lived to 91, so it wasn't like, he tragically young death, but we are missing. That was one of the crown jewels of professional wrestling, and it's something that, without Lance Russell, professional wrestling just got a little bit less, fun. Godspeed, Lance Russell. We love you. And I always wonder, what if he went to New York and he called like WWF? Because he could have called that fine. And I think one of the reasons that Gordon Solie is so remembered is that Gordon Solie was on TBS and that went everywhere.
Yeah.
And Lance Russell didn't go to WCW until 1989. So if you even seen him down there, I think he called a couple of Clash Champions. And I know he called like their C show. Having him call like Sting versus Master Blaster wasn't great. So it was so out of place. So Godspeed, Lance Russell. We're gonna miss you.
That's the way it is on Championship Wrestling. Till next week, for Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
Since this card, this closed circuit event or pay-per-view, what have you, what do you think they call wrestling shows now? They can't call them pay-per-views anymore because they're not on pay-per-view anymore. They're on the network.
Oh, just
special events?
I guess, yeah.
That's weird. I don't know. But, you know, for the sake of, so everyone understands pay-per-view. So this would be essentially a pay-per-view, but 1983, you know, closed circuit nationwide, live from Mexico. And this would be EMML. Now, people know CMML, but before there was CMML, there was EMML. And that stands for Empresa Mexicana de Lucha Libre. It was founded in 1933. It is the oldest professional wrestling promotion still in existence. In contrast to AAA and some of the other promotions, CMML is very conservative. You know, they call it the serious and stable. Again, it's not as crazy as a AAA. Again, it's just like it's basically just straight wrestling. All right, if you ever watch some of their shows, you can actually watch their shows because that they do post their shows on YouTube. So definitely check that out. And one of the things that interesting to me about CMML is that they don't tour. Much like at Impact Wrestling, their wrestling takes place in the same building every single time. Again, they've been around for 84 years.
Wow.
You know, it was founded by Salvador Luderoth. You know, he is the godfather of professional wrestling in Mexico.
Is he the guy who they bring out the ashes in the urn?
That was AAA.
Okay.
You know, Salvador Luderoth, that's the person. I wish someone would do a documentary or show on this guy because he was involved in the Mexican Revolution and and you know, this guy lived a crazy life, man. And you know, he's the guy who discovered El Santo. And I don't know if anyone understands that El Santo in Mexico is bigger than The Rock, bigger than Hulk Hogan, bigger than Steve Austin. El Santo is an icon. I would put him above everyone else in terms of lucha libre professional wrestling in Mexico. You know, he started like a crap load of movies, and you know, he's the man. And you know, his son, you know, still wrestles, not as frequently, but I do follow him on Twitter, which is interesting. Again, CMML, you know, was a NWA territory, so you saw a lot of American wrestlers down there. I know that, you know, Harley Race spent some time down there. Andre the Giant, obviously. One of their big championships down there was the NWA World Middleweight Championship. And that's something they had as early as the 50s.
Wow.
So, you know, again, lucha libre, smaller wrestlers, you know, that lucha style. They would get the world champion every once in a while, but again, their biggest championship was, you know, the World Middleweight Championship, which was part of the J Crown, by the way. So those of you who are Ultimo Dragon fans, you ever see the belts that he's, you know, holding all those belts? That picture where he's holding all those belts.
Yeah.
That's one of them. It's also the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship. So he was holding a WCW Cruiserweight, NWA Middleweight, and WWF Light Heavyweight all at the same time. Again, in the mid '80s, when they split from the NWA, they rebranded from the EMML to what we know as the CMML, which is basically the World Wrestling Council. You know, they're on one of the biggest things that happened in Mexico was when AAA splintered off of CMML. When we do a AAA show, we'll go into that and how important that was and how that kind of changed the industry. So if you want to look at Mexican wrestling, think about the CMML as the NWA and AAA is kind of the WWF in terms of styles. Would be like, I think that's a fair representation. So the events are held for CMML in the famous Arena Mexico, and that's in Mexico City. And their show is on Friday night called Super Viernes, which is Super Friday, obviously, in English. And again, I find it amazing. They just go back to the same building week after week, month after month, year after year, and they're still able to draw there. You know, it's completely insane. Their world champion right now is Marco Corleone.
Oh my God!
Who some of you guys may remember as Mark Jindrak.
Yes.
So he's currently the champion, and he's held it for 121 days. So, all right, guys. So I'll be the first to admit that my knowledge of lucha libre is limited, obviously. But I thought it was important since we're doing the show from Mexico, you know, to talk about CMML a little bit. So Matt, what are your thoughts on CMML?
Well, you know, I got into that league really when I was living in Woburn, and my Fios cable system had all these other channels that didn't have other ones.
Just to stop you right there, isn't Fios fucking awesome?
It was when I had it.
I loved Fios when I had it. I don't have it because I moved.
Yeah.
I'm stuck with fucking Optima and it sucks.
Yeah, so there's our plug. Yeah, so it was definitely cool watching it, and I'd watch it, and I didn't speak a word of it Spanish, or I understand a couple of words, but nothing major. But I just liked the presentation. It was different, and I liked the tradition, the way that the spectacle of it. And I of course got it at AAA later, but it was a fun watch. And I used to go to this blog called the Lucha Blog, which is still out there, luchablog.com. And he would break down everything for those of us that didn't speak Spanish, so we knew what was going on. It was kind of cool, and it was a good presentation.
I need to start watching more Lucha. I don't know if I can watch it every week because Lucha Libre is Lucha Libre, and it's very much an acquired taste. Again, for those of us who grew up watching traditional American wrestling or Texas-style wrestling, as they call it can be difficult to watch at times, especially if we don't know what's going on. But I think overall, when we talk about CMML in general, I mean, it's just a good traditional Lucha Libre promotion. And I think everyone needs to go out of their way and go watch it. So, I think it's super important that, we talk about this promotion and the fact that, it was involved in the NWA. And we saw, it was it was the official NWA territory for Mexico. Having, Harley Race defend the title, in terms of what we're doing here in the 1983 project, when we talk about a national expansion for the NWA, some of these promotions that you may not think of are super important. So going down to Mexico is super important for us. Going down to Puerto Rico is super important for us. Going to Japan is super important to us. When we get to 84, we'll start going into Canada. But I think to have that national presence, again, we're on cable televisions. We have 2 cable shows, one on ESPN, one on, TBS, and getting, clearances in Mexico where we can promote, our American wrestlers in Mexico, and then bring up, have control of some of the biggest stars coming out of Mexico. Would be Mil Mascaras, El Santo, Blue Demon, Dr. Wagner, El Connect, and bringing Lucha Libre to the States and areas of the country where they may have never seen it before, or they'll see like a bastardized version. You want legitimate, Lucha Libre, and then kind of mixing it up with the American styles. There's guys out there that can do both. Obviously, the Guerreros come to mind of guys that can go back and forth to those styles. Presenting the pageantry with the mask for us in the United States at that time, and if we're going into, again, understand this, in this fantasy world that we're booking, that the NWA is now based out of Los Angeles. Los Angeles have a large Hispanic or Mexican population, and bringing Lucha Libre wrestlers to Los Angeles, bringing Lucha Libre wrestlers from all over Texas and some of these border towns, and even getting them up as far as, when was the last time you seen a luchador in Charlotte, in Mid-Atlantic, or, every once in a while, we'll get them in Georgia if you go back and watch some of that. And usually it's Mil Mascaras who does the tours of the United States. We saw very little of El Santo and Blue Demon in the United States, in the 70s and the 80s. But having those guys, come up gives, our promotions around the country a international flavor. That the very best from all over the world is coming down to the NWA. So I think that's very important for us. And having Harley Race taking on Blue Demon, because we couldn't put him against Mil Mascaras because Mil Mascaras ain't gonna do that job. So
yeah, right.
Fucking sells like a road warrior. Bless his heart. Fantastic. So next up, we have a clip of my conversation with Luke Martin regarding the No Mercy pay-per-view. So we'll get into that right now with our good friend Luke Martin, our modern wrestling correspondent, and we're going to talk about the last pay-per-view. The last WWE pay-per-view, No Mercy. Now, it just occurred this weekend, and Luke's going to give us some of his thoughts regarding this show. So, Luke, how'd you enjoy No Mercy?
Well, there was one match that was really good, and then there was a bunch of other shit that happened. So, let's start with the positive here. First of all, you had Ambrose and Rollins versus Cesaro and Sheamus, which somehow sounds awful, but it keeps churning out pretty good, pretty decent matches. This one's probably highlighted is the fact that Cesaro got his teeth shoved up into his jaw. It was bleeding profusely from his mouth. He didn't care, and he just kept that's
He's a man's
amazing.
man, that's for sure.
He's insane. I don't know if anyone's ever messed their teeth up, but that's a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And to be able to continue to work through that, take shots to the face, and do that stuff. Reading, he got a standing ovation from the locker room when he went back to the back. That's professional. Sin Cara breaks his finger, quits. Cesaro gets his teeth shoved into his jaw. He keeps going. Overall, it's kind of good that they put them together. I think that maybe they did it to tough Ambrose up, because if you've, not sure, ever heard Matt Riley talk about his favorite wrestler, Dean Ambrose, and his fierce fighting style that he portrays, or the little taps he does his opponents. I think putting him with those harder workers, even though his style is still looks like shit, makes him look a little bit tougher.
Dean Ambrose has the potential of being a modern day Steve Austin, but there is something missing. And Matt hates his guts. He thinks he's he hates Dean Ambrose as much as I dislike Sheamus. I can't stand Sheamus. And Sheamus, he works hard. He looks good. He's a good wrestler. I don't like him.
I think Sheamus I don't know. I love Dean Ambrose once the Shield broke up, and then I don't know what happened to him.
He was hot. He was hot during that Jericho feud.
Right, and that was a good... Putting Jericho with anybody usually elevates them.
Definitely.
He didn't really have anywhere to go. He kind of done everything to do, so kind of putting them back together. Hopefully this leads to getting the Shield back together in a positive way, but that's kind of a tough ask. So I really feel Sheamus and Cesaro doing really great work together. Guys lost in the sauce come together. I think it's actually Cesaro seems like he talks a lot more, does better promos. They play off each other really well. So I don't know whose bright idea was to put them together, but it all worked. I would say the women's match, but the fact that it's another clusterfuck.
A fatal five-way. Jeez.
At this point, they should just have female battle royals for the
Why
title.
is Emma in the match for?
I don't know. I like Emma's look. She's come so far since she was the lackey for what's his name? The joke wrestler from Italy, who's actually from Canada.
Oh, Santino.
She was with him. But I think she looks good. I think they can do more with her. I think they're trying to build her up, though I don't think she has some of the skills that the rest of the ladies have. But I did like the way that they're kind of building up a Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss feud, friends, kind of both heels, and they're working them in. If I could never see Bayley or Sasha Banks wrestle, that would be great. I'm really tired of them. Great workers, but they've just played them out. They don't really seem to have anywhere to go. They can't really. Their feuds are kind of blasé, especially with hot shotting the title around and things like that. Just give it to Alexa Bliss. Let her ride her little roller coaster to the top and have a feud with Nia Jax. I think that's good. They're both friends. The size disparity looks good. It's almost like a Rey Mysterio versus The Undertaker or something type feel. If they can continue to kind of twist Bliss and use her popularity and kind of slowly turn her into a baby face, and then keep Nia going, obviously still heel, but make her a more monster heel, and have her just kind of be really shitty to her. I think that would be good.
Once Alexa switches babyface, that's when she's going to explode. She's going to be number 2 babyface in the company.
Oh yeah,
or maybe number 1 when she makes the switch.
Right. So I think that they're doing well with that. Those were the 2 biggest takeaways, positive-wise, that I can even come up with at this point. There's really nothing. So do you want to get into the other part?
Yeah, no, we'll break it down, because then we have The Miz with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. He beat Jason Jordan. Again, it was for the IC belt. In about 10 minutes. Not really sure what they're doing with Jason Jordan. I don't think they know. Miz is fantastic. Right. Bottom line, he should be elevated. I think a Brock Lesnar versus The Miz feud would be fantastic.
I don't know if they're trying to put Miz on the pre-show consistently because they're trying to make it look like he's being held down. But yeah, why is The Miz doing anything with Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan is the Rocky Maivia of this era. He's going to, like, nobody cares about him. He got put in a stupid angle that no one cared about. So
killed him.
I was in Nashville. I live here, and I took my son to Raw, and that was the night that there was this big reveal. So they keep talking about all this stuff, and the only person that makes sense in everyone's mind is Chad Gable. Chad Gable, right? Why? Okay, Jason Jordan, sweet. It's the 21st century, great, whatever. But is that believable at all? No. And I like Chad Gable better than Jason Jordan. I think Jason Jordan looks better, but I like Chad Gable.
He had that fantastic match with AJ Styles, too.
Yeah, and he's an Olympian. Like, it all makes sense. But they just did it. It's like a swerve to swerve a swerve. There's no purpose. No one cared.
Russo booked it. It's something Russo would do.
Yeah, and it didn't make any sense. No one in the crowd. I can tell you that no one in the crowd cared.
Did anyone in the crowd think it was going to be Dixie Carter?
No.
No one thought it was going to be Dixie.
No.
Bless her heart.
It was not. It didn't go over well. Let's just put it that way. Now, I do like what they're doing with The Miz, and I think him having Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas there, and Bo Dallas is one glove. They actually work well together. I think that Miz is elevating those guys, and hopefully they can kind of get some traction and maybe do something with them a little more. I don't know if they're I wouldn't say they're underrated workers, but I would certainly say that they could have gotten better characters coming out the gate. So I don't really know, but putting them on the pre-show, okay, why? Like, why even have an Intercontinental Championship match on the pre-show? Why not just not have an Intercontinental Championship match at all? The Intercontinental title, they keep trying to elevate it, and then they work actively to not elevate it. I don't understand.
6 title events on this show, which is a lot.
Right, but none of them mattered. There was, don't forget, the Elias Sampson Apollo Crews match. It was also on the pre-show.
I'm like the only person in the world that likes Elias Sampson for some reason.
I was about to say, when I was in Nashville, they had the Finn Balor, Elias Sampson. Elias Sampson fucking rocked Finn Balor with that guitar. Like, it fucking shook the arena, and it cut Finn Balor's head, like, really bad. And, I mean, he was bleeding like a motherfucker. It was great. Like, that was the fucking coolest shit. Like, he looked like he hit him, like, it was just crazy. Like, there was a fucking C4 in the guitar. Like, it blew the fuck up. And it was great. And you could hear it. So, that was pretty awesome.
And when it comes to Apollo Crews, he needs to go back to NXT and find a character. I don't really like Titus O'Neil with anybody. I don't really like Titus O'Neil at all. It's weird. Anyone that uses the word brand makes me angry. I have to protect I see people on Twitter do that shit all the time. I'm like, you tweet. You just live tweet during Raw. You don't have a brand to protect. Shut the fuck up, you're stupid.
Putting Titus O'Neil with Apollo Crews just makes Apollo Crews suck. Yeah. Apollo Crews has nothing.
Unless they're going to do like a new Nation of Domination gimmick at some point, which they're probably never going to do again. But
I don't know. They need to he needs to do something. He's too big and too talented for them to just. But they
the whole thing is they brought him up too quick. Like, I guess Vince saw him like, oh my god, you need to get this guy up here, and they never developed a character from down in NXT. He's only there for like 2 months. It felt like.
I just feel like they don't know what to do with big African American wrestlers.
No, you can go back to Ahmed Johnson. Remember the push that Ahmed Johnson got when he came in? It was insane. Right. He was beating everyone. He won the IC belt. He was IC champion, and then Shawn Michaels didn't want to work with him, and that was the end of that.
Right. So I don't know why they have such an issue. I don't know why it's so hard for them, but they just can't seem to do it. I don't get that.
They almost got it right with Bobby Lashley, though. They came close.
Yeah, and then they screwed that up. Yeah. Bobby Lashley is way too good to get the ECW belt or some bullshit. So that was stupid.
So weird. And then we had Finn Balor defeated Bray Wyatt.
Right, which we already saw and no one cared about. It was cool when it was the Demon versus the other thing. That was a neat little gimmick match. But I
wish he would have done that coup de grace thing while he was doing the spider maneuver. Like he just landed on top of him and killed him.
They probably would have killed Bray Wyatt. Yeah. I like Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt is done.
Everyone likes Bray Wyatt, but he is he's one man gang. You know what I mean?
There was one year where he was in Money in the Bank, and I think it was the year that Seth Rollins won, or it was either Seth Rollins or Damien, but like he was there. He was alone in the ring, and you would have thought that like the fucking Steve Austin had fucking walked in the building. Like people were losing their shit because he was going to get the fucking thing, and then he got.
Do you think the Cena feud from like a year and a half, 2 years ago hurt him bad?
I think anybody that feuds with Cena and loses, they just screwed it up. Like they should have.
Remember they had that kid come in and he fucking had the crazy voice and shit. And that was awesome.
But then they like fed him to the Undertaker for no reason. Like it just didn't make any sense. So he's too far gone.
They had that shitty feud with Randy Orton too.
Anything with Randy Orton at this point is kind of shit. And that's not even Randy Orton's fault. It's just the fact that they have no one to put him against, and they don't know how to book him. And I don't even think he wants to be there anymore. Like he's telling Rusev to fucking leave the company. So obviously Randy Orton gives absolute zero fucks about what they fucking think about him. And I would at this point too. Like he's done everything they've asked him to do, and he's always kind of played second fiddle to John Cena. So whatever, it is what it is.
Now that John Cena is stepping aside, you would think this would be the time for him to be in that number one babyface spot, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It looks like he got overlooked in favor of Roman Reigns, which is strange.
Yeah, well, I just don't think Orton is a good face. Like he's just so
he
better.
Had like in 2004 when he first won the belt. Who did he beat? He beat Benoit.
Yeah.
When he beat Benoit, that was like you run with him, and then he like lost it like. I feel like he lost like 2 months later.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just always going to be a better heel.
Yeah.
But I mean, that just gets into a whole different aspect of booking anyway, and that's sad. But I think, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then we talked about the tag match, talked about the women's match.
Yeah, Roman Reigns versus John Cena. They went 22 minutes.
Right, and it was nothing but I don't know. There's no reason to have that match at this point, I feel. I feel it was a waste of a match. I feel they could have done a tag. They could have brought in other people. I think that if you want to build that, you have Cena turn heel, and then you have Sheamus and Cesaro run out, beat the shit out of Roman Reigns, and then have Dean Ambrose and the Shield come out, boom. Oh, it's the Shield. Everybody gets a giant fucking hard on. Fucking panties get wet. Fucking world is so fucking happy. And now you force the WWE to cheer for Roman Reigns or cheer for John Cena. And you can't, that way you take away that option to be that 50-50 bullshit. So you have to fucking, you want to talk about the most polarizing superstars? Well, then put them together and make them work a good fucking feud that culminates in a big fucking event, not a shitty fucking match with 30 near falls and one fucking spear takes out John. We've seen John Cena defeat a whole fucking Survivor Series team by himself. So why the fuck am I going to believe that one spear is Roman Reigns that fucking powerful?
Is there a scenario where you can see Roman Reigns with the Universal belt and then Ambrose and Rollins as tag team champions, kind of have that Horseman feel?
Right, and I think that's what they should do. And I think then you can put in an AJ Styles or a Finn Balor, and boom, you have the club, and then you do shit with that. But I think that's the biggest problem is that there's just not those teams. Like people like that shit. They like to know the good guys. They like to know the bad guys. People like to root for teams. It's cool to root for individuals, but you always had like Hogan always had his allies, right? And everybody always had even like NWO, WCW. The reason people got behind that because you either rooted for the NWO or you're rooting for WCW. You knew whose side you're on. But if everybody's doing their own fucking thing, it starts to get overwhelming and confusing. So I think if they had done some shit like that, because that's a good feud. The mic, like all the shit they did, promos and all this shit. That's a good way to do it. You don't even need to you don't even need to put the belt in there. Like you can just fucking keep going with that shit and just make John Cena heel, and then fucking have Roman Reigns fucking beat Brock Lesnar at fucking WrestleMania, and then have John Cena come out and fuck his shit up or whatever. Or have Roman beat Brock Lesnar. Because at this point, I don't think Roman Brock Lesnar is even a WrestleMania worthy event. I say that you have somehow either get Cena the belt or give Roman the belt or have him beat Brock Lesnar, and then have that when Cena comes in and fucks his shit up. And then you have him beat him at WrestleMania and make that John Cena's little swan song bullshit. And then go out. But have him go out at a No Mercy event that might be his last. That's why I don't care about this match. I don't care about what's happening. I did care, but then you just drug the fucking match out. and it was dumb, and nothing. What happened? So what did that do for Roman? Did it elevate Roman Reigns? No, no one gave a shit. Still, nobody gives a shit, and he didn't do anything. And he already beat the fucking Undertaker. I mean, I don't know. You can.
I don't know how much. I don't know how much more they can push a guy without putting him in American flag trunks and giving him a bus. Like that's the next level. Like let's put him in. Let's get him in the American flag trunks, and we'll put him on the Roman Express, and he'll tour the country, trying to get his rematch with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's what I would do with him. Fuck it.
Just you know what? Screw it. Like just have him beat the Miz. You can feed in the Miz and have him take the IC belt, and then do an Intercontinental, do a fucking
title versus title.
Yeah, title versus title match. You can do Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan all over again, except you care about neither of the fucking opponents. Like I get Brock Lesnar is over, but I don't know a lot of people that are like, I'm a Brock Lesnar fan.
I don't know a lot of people who tune in to watch Brock. I don't think he jumps the ratings at all. So like say he's not on Raw for like 3 weeks, and they're like, oh, Brock Lesnar's coming next week. I don't think that rises the ratings at all. I don't think anything rises the ratings at all. I think everything is flat.
Right. Well, because they don't do anything new. The guys that are on top they're always on top. And then if they do lose, they only lose it for like a week. The same person comes back in. It's not exciting. And then finally the Braun Strowman.
Well, we got one more.
Oh, we do? Who was that?
We got Enzo Amore defeated Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship in 10 minutes and 40 seconds.
Let's not even talk about that. Shit show. You try to put some guy that should be a fucking... It's like if you put Bobby the Brain Heenan and fucking made him the fucking Cruiserweight champion. Yes,
Bobby's a better worker.
That's true. But I'm just saying, there's no reason to do that. Like, he doesn't need to be in that position. He can do other things and bring fucking heat or bring...
Why don't you just put him back with Cass? Because he just turned heel, didn't he?
Yeah. Don't even put him with anybody that needs help. But, like, don't put him any... Like, I don't know. He doesn't get along with the boys in the back. Like, it's just dumb. Like, no one takes him seriously as a champion. Like, he's been kicked in the face by fucking his Cass like 30 million times, so... At this point, there's no.
Did you like the ending of Raw when everyone just beat the shit out of him?
I did. It's probably the culmination of an important event. But yeah.
Are we too smart? Are we too? The question becomes: are we too smart? And Enzo's getting heat. Like everyone's mad. Everyone wants to see this motherfucker get the shit kicked out of him. Are we just too smart at this point, and we can't enjoy? This piece of shit. Is he the modern day honky tonk man?
I don't know. I just
because you look at the honky tonk man, right?
Right.
He had the IC belt for forever, and there's better workers: Ricky Steamboat, Randy Savage, in that time period. So, I could only assume if the honky tonk man had the IC belt today, people would fucking rip that to shreds on Twitter. So is the modern day honky tonk man. Like, I hope he gets in the room with Brock Lesnar and Brock Lesnar rips his fucking head off with that draw. And right?
The thing is that like you could still, like, even though no one really took him seriously, you had Jimmy Hart, which was also added to the heat, and he had that guitar and he hit people in the head with that.
Yeah.
I don't know why the guitar is the best foreign object.
I agree.
Because it looks the
Other
best.
Than when Jeff Jarrett used it.
Well, let's not talk about that either.
That's Jeff Jarrett's fault, because I hate Jeff Jarrett.
Except for the tortilla thing. That was a pretty good idea. But I don't know. That match was a waste. And then I think the Braun, like, that would have been the time to give Brock a rest and let Braun carry the title. Because if
I'm surprised they didn't do the switch and the multi-man where you could have Brock not lose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, have Braun beat someone else for the belt. Like, it could have been Joe. It could have been... Who else was in that match? Rollins was in that match?
No, I think Roman Reigns was in that
Roman
match.
Reigns. You can have Braun Strowman beat Roman. You can have Braun Strowman beat Joe. And then you can set up... That's the story. And then Brock's going to come back and look for his title. That was a story, but... I think they're going to keep the belt on Brock forever at this point. Like, they're never going to take it off. I think Braun Strowman needs to change his pants. Because I hate his fucking pants. You know what they need to do? They need to put him in red, white, and blue trunks, and then give him a bus. That's going to work. It works.
I think that's kind of... I don't really know if that's going to be the answer for him.
The Lex Express worked. Fuck.
I don't think I want to see him in trunks. I don't want to see him in trunks. But that reminds me, my first IWA wrestler was named American Man, and he was inspired by Lex Luger when I was like, I don't even know, like 10. So that's
I'm a Lex Luger apologist. I will postulate the virtues of the total package Lex Luger to my dying day, because people shit on him and that's not fair. He had good matches, not all the time, not past 1997. I'm not talking about that, but he had good matches.
I liked the Narcissist. That was a cool concept.
Oh, I thought it was great. And the loaded elbow with the fucking metal plate in it, it's fucking fantastic. Yeah, he should have won the belt at SummerSlam, but he won by fucking DQ. And it was,
that's stupid. That's just. I think that if anything, this showed that I would be sad if I still paid $60 for pay-per-views, and I bought No Mercy. I think that I would cry, and I don't think I would ever watch WWE again. I don't think there's proper build-up. I don't think there's anything. These are basically just like.
Are there too many? Can we get down to... I'm not saying we have to go down to 4 again. But can we do like maybe 6?
I think what they need to do is, at the end of the day, they need to stop promoting them as these one-shot kind of month-long feuds. And they just need to use them as big shows, like stacked cards, but not...
Do you think it'd be better if they had gimmick pay-per-views? Like, okay, we have the Rumble, right? The Rumble always does well. Like, can we get Survivor Series matches at Survivor Series?
That would be great.
Well, do that. Just do that. Just do that. Just do all Survivor Series matches, and maybe the Universal Championship match, and that's it.
I think
you could do a Raw versus SmackDown. I don't care what the fuck you do. Raw women versus SmackDown women. It's you can steal a fucking house with that.
I think that you should they can use them to advance storylines. I think that they're
do war games. Let's do World War III. I don't care if it's 3 rings and it sucks.
World War III. That is
King of the Ring. Can we bring back King? Because it gives us something to do. Like this is like maintenance booking where we have a pay-per-view where nothing happens, right? So I don't feel good about anything that happened on this pay-per-view whatsoever. I just don't feel good about it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like,
so if I'm not going to feel good about it, why can't we just have King of the Ring instead?
Right. Well, why have this pay-per-view if I know that nothing is going to happen?
Nothing's going to happen.
If I know that nothing is going to happen on a pay-per-view, what's the impetus to watch it? There isn't one. No. It's a waste of my time.
I've seen episodes of Raw that are better from 1994. And if you watch Raw in 1994, you know they weren't good.
I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know why.
They're not trying to do anything. They don't know what the fuck is going on.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with WWE. I think that they don't know what's going on, and I don't know. I can't make sense.
Do you think Vince has dementia?
At least it'd be more. I think it would be more exciting.
I agree. I agree.
Like if he can get stuck sometime where there was like good wrestling on television, that would be great. Yeah. But right now he's stuck. I don't know.
Yeah, it's bad news.
If we see another Duke the Dumpster Drosy, then
hey, listen, fucking Glacier got a fucking huge pop at Ring of Honor. It's fucking Glacier. People love that shit.
They're about Sub-Zero?
I hated Glacier. Mortis not so bad. Glacier was awful.
That's WCW. I watched World War III and that was a shit show. But I don't know. I think that WWE is doing a lot of the things that WCW used to do, and that is they're not building new talent, and they're just not doing enough.
I haven't seen this level of sloppy booking since Crockett bought Mid-South, and they injected all those Mid-South guys in, and it was shitty. Or the Invasion. I haven't seen this level of incompetence since then. So overall, shitty pay-per-view. No one cares. Please stop doing these. I'm interested in watching Starrcade. Fuck those guys.
I am as well.
All right. Fantastic. All right, back to myself. All right, we're back. So Matt, did you get to see No Mercy at all?
I was working, so I had to read the recap.
I had the fucking shits.
Yeah.
No Mercy was all right. I mean, I know a lot of people were bitching that Brock Lesnar beat Braun Strowman with one F5, but fuck, dude, that's kind of the point of a finisher, ain't it?
Right.
That's the big joke. The big joke is it takes 3 finishers to beat somebody, just like the video game, right? When you play WWE 2k18, you got to hit 3 finishers to win. But it does put over Brock Lesnar. I think we get kind of fucked up a little bit here because we think that they're building Brock Lesnar to lose to someone to put someone over. I don't think that's the case. I think they're putting Brock over everybody, so he's a draw, and he's not going anywhere. He's going to be with us for the foreseeable future. Cena is basically semi-retired at this point. He's going to go to part-time, and he announced that. We know this, right? So they're going with Brock, and they're not going to put anyone over Brock, just like they never put anyone over Hogan.
Yeah.
So I think we need to get out of that mindset that Brock's going to pass the torch because he's leaving. He's not leaving, and he's not passing the torch. They're going to run him into the fucking ground. So I want people to think Braun Strowman like a King Kong Bundy. Right? No one gave a shit that fucking King Kong Bundy was fed to Hulk Hogan, or the One Man Gang, or Big Boss Man. You know, these guys got fed to Bundy, and then when they were done with when they got fed up, these guys got fed to Hogan. When those guys were done with Hogan, they went back down to the mid card, or they left the promotion altogether. Now, obviously, in today's wrestling, these guys are not going to be leaving. They're under contract for years at this point. So it's gonna be important for the creative team to make sure that Braun gets his heat back, which he did. So Brock has defeated Samoa Joe, he's beat Roman Reigns, he beat Braun Strowman. What's next for Brock Lesnar? I think he's gonna have another match with Triple H at some point. I think The Rock's probably gonna come back, right? I know there's a Fast and Furious movie that's got delayed, but he's gonna have another big movie premiere that he's gonna get back into it. And I can see Brock beating Triple H. I can see Brock beating The Rock, and then move forward with, no one is going to beat Brock at this. We're talking maybe until WrestleMania. Looking at the card itself, I mean, I'm glad that Alexa Bliss won. She is my favorite female wrestler. Obviously, people were upset that Roman Reigns defeated John Cena. Who cares? It's Roman Reigns and John Cena. And then I know people lost their fucking minds when Enzo defeated Neville. So.
Well, I think this is my take on it. This is Honky Tonk Man in a sense that people are so pissed off that they're not going to stop watching.
Yeah.
So you've built this guy up, and I think they've got to kind of a little more work on him being a bad guy. Like right now, he's just going around making fun of people, and it's like, oh, it's Enzo making fun of people.
He needs to be more nefarious, maybe a little bit more violent. And I think if they bring Big Cass back, I know he's hurt right now, you can pair him back up again as heels. Imagine a scenario. Scott Hall coined the term cruiserweight bully. Big Cass come back and be the cruiserweight bully. He's the muscle for fucking Enzo. And you see him you'll see Big Cass on 205 fucking chucking these guys all over the place.
Yeah.
Because 205 is hurting.
Yeah.
They booked that. They didn't book it like they were supposed to. It's not the guy's fault. They booked it like crap.
Yeah.
It's just another show. It doesn't get any love. It gets no respect. Drew Gulak is the man. He's awesome. If you guys haven't checked out any of the Drew Gulak stuff, in time, he has potential to be a Miz level heel. He's not there yet, but he will be, because he's getting heat like a motherfucker. So overall, a meh pay-per-view. Nothing they're too excited about, but nothing to jump off a bridge about either. So one of the topics that came up recently, I saw it on a Facebook page, is that, and you'll see it on Twitter every once in a while. You saw Goldust tweet about it. You've seen maybe Brian James tweet about it. We've seen a couple of guys, tweet this. Jim Ross tweeted it as well. If you guys don't like the product, don't watch.
Right.
And to me, that's very short-sighted. I hate to equate sports to wrestling, but sports has this whole genre of stuff, would it be on ESPN, mostly in the sports talk radio. Now, local New York, I listen to ESPN 97.8 here in New York. How many guys call into those shows saying, my team sucks, what are they doing? They need to fire this guy, they need to fire the coach, they need to fire the general manager, they need to trade away so and so forth. On a daily basis, hear people go on complete rants and meltdowns regarding their favorite sports team because they care. How come professional wrestling is held to a different standard where we can't do the same thing? Because I'm sure if the Sooners had a bad fucking season, Jim Ross is going to be fucking pissed. But Jim Ross ain't going to stop watching. I don't understand why the people who work in professional wrestling, the wrestlers themselves, creative, are really sensitive to any kind of criticism.
I think it might be because they're afraid that Vince is going to hear it and snap.
Well, I mean, yeah, but was it as bad? Is Vince as bad as Steinbrenner? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so.
You think he's as bad?
He's the wrestling equivalent of Steinbrenner.
So we're just going to fired.
But the managers, the Billy Martin, he runs into the ground, is the CM Punks of the world. Like people want to see. I was thinking like this whole thing.
Remember they traded fucking Deion Sanders?
Yeah.
That Jay Buhner, JT Snow was on that team. Like that, I'm a Yankees fan. The Yankees had the most wins in the '80s, but they never won shit. I think, but it's not even guys in WWE too, because we've seen guys in the Indies, guys on TNA. These guys just fucking snap on fans on Twitter. And I don't get it. I don't see other would-be actresses or musicians, anyone in the entertainment industry, or even sports stars fucking snap the way professional wrestlers snap on fans. Like, I don't understand where that's coming from. You should just be you're a wrestler, right? You're a top guy. You live in the dream, bro. You're living the dream. You're doing the things that we only can wish that we can do. So you're above it. Be above it. You know what I mean? Don't listen to the criticism because fans are going to be fans. Not every fan's going to like the same thing. And I think that's one of the things that the WWE is struggling with now. They're trying to listen to the fans. But my opinion is different than the next person's opinion, who's different than your opinion. And you're not going to make everyone happy. So in the effort to make everyone happy, you're making no one happy. So don't listen to the fans. We don't know what we're talking about when it comes to booking or creative. Do fans have legitimate gripes? Yeah, absolutely. We do a whole show about legitimate gripes. Do wrestling fans have the right to share their frustration with the product? Absolutely. But I don't know why they're held to different standards, because if you ever go in the comment section on your favorite sports team's website or on Facebook, on their Facebook page, you'll see them littered with this guy sucks, this guy needs to be fired, this guy needs to be traded, we suck, blah, 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 blah. And I bet you, even the Patriots probably have people who call in like, oh, it sucks, and they win all the fucking time, So I don't understand why wrestling fans are held to a different standard. Like, if I bitch at Tom Cruise because he made a shitty movie, I don't think he's fucking yelling at me. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, shut up, sit down, shut up. If you don't enjoy it, don't watch it. Don't think too much into it, blah, 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 blah. That's not the society we're in. We're in a society where we break down everything. In sports, they break down pitch by pitch by pitch or play by play by play. Right? They NFL, NBA, hockey, MLB, they get broken down to such a degree, almost a fine powder. And we're not supposed to do that in wrestling. People who are cinephiles, right? People who love movies, right? They listen to the director's commentary. They look at the behind the scenes, the blooper clips. Like, there's a whole genre of people who watch movies who just listen to the director's commentary. Director's commentary is like our version of the shoot interview, or our version of a podcast. Yeah. And they break down, they go shot by shot by shot, same thing with television shows and even music. So I don't understand why wrestlers and people who are involved in the business are so thin-skinned for some reason. I don't understand. I mean, I understand that most wrestlers have no respect for the wrestling fans. They legitimately think we're marks. And in some cases, we are.
Well, yeah. I think part of it goes to, you have a lot of people who, in the industry, look down at the fans because they figure you're a sucker. And you always hear people say things like, well, you don't look at people who watch, like, Battlestar Galactica and go, sucker. Right. Like, it's entertainment. We know what's going on.
Dixie Carter once said in a Congress hearing on steroids that the fans of TNA is essentially the 40-year-old virgin. There's a bunch of guys who lived in their basement at their parents' house.
Yeah.
And I think I have money. I own my house. I have a mortgage. I have kids. I have a job. The whole nine, right? White picket fence. American dream. And I go to the pay window every week, get my check. Good stuff. That doesn't diminish myself as a fan, though. If you're a fan of something, you're a fan. It's what we call a fanatic, right? We go deeper. And while the WWE try to chase their casual fan, because the base will never go away.
Yeah.
I'm invested. I can't stop. I'm gonna be watching this shit to the day I die. They know this already. So most of the time they just treat me like dirt because they're chasing you're chasing your 12 to 16-year-olds demographic, and they'll throw us a bone every once in a while. If you're a hardcore wrestling fan, you're probably better off watching like TNA or do what I do. I don't watch Raws or SmackDowns. I just watch the pay-per-views because they recap it anyway, and the pay-per-views is every 3 weeks, so there's no urgency to watch Raw because it never happens on that show. And something cool happens, I know about it in 10 seconds because I get a video on my Twitter feed.
Right.
So there's no point of sitting there. All right, guys, everyone shut up. I want to watch Raw, and I'm invested in it. Entertainment has changed. The way we consume entertainment has changed, and they've changed along with it. So that's when people bring up ratings like that shit. It matters, but it doesn't matter anymore. Ratings never mattered to me because, to be honest, I'm looking to be entertained. I'm looking for compelling matches. I'm looking for storylines and angles. I'm not in the business, so if they make money or not, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't judge their success on how many tickets they sell. That's not my. I can't judge that because I'm not making any money off of it. If I was a booker or creative or someone who worked in wrestling, then maybe I would judge it differently. But the fact that I've never worked in wrestling, I can't judge it that way. So. Don't be stupid on the Twitter. Don't insult your fans. Us fans maybe need to do a better job of policing each other, but it's such a wide base with so many different opinions that that's hard to do. It's not easy. There's a lot of to me. If you're not enjoying the show, or you watch it to make yourself mad, I don't watch stuff to punch myself in the face. I mean, that's just stupid. There's a lot of wrestling out there that you can watch. I know MLW just dropped the show. I can't wait to watch it this weekend. It's the return of Tony Schiavone on commentary. I'm super excited for that show.
Nice.
Ricochet's in the main event. Ricochet's like my favorite wrestler right now. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So this week, on crazy shit that I watched this week, I watched a lot of AWA this week. AWA sucks. I come to that conclusion. Their matches are good. Their promos are good. But it's just like watching fucking paint dry sometimes. And I tell you what, man, fuck Lord James Blears. He's a fucking asshole. So I watched Super Sunday, which I won't get into Super Sunday for a second, because Super Sunday is important because I'm pretty sure that predates Starrcade. AWA Super Sunday. Let me check this out. And I believe the first Super Sunday was that can't be right. It has to be 83. Hold on, I gotta look this up because it's important. Because it was on closed circuit in the North and the Midwest, and if it predates Starrcade, then Super Sunday is actually the first pay-per-view. All right. All right. So Super Sunday for the AWA. For those of you who don't know, I watched this entire show. It's April 24th, 1983. This predates Starrcade. Starrcade was on Thanksgiving, 1983. The attendance was 20,000 people. It's on closed circuit television. I think throughout the entire Midwest. Now I could be wrong on that because there's no. I'm not 100% sure on that, but Super Sunday again is the St. Paul Civic Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. I believe it went through most of the Midwest. Now check out the card for this. We had Brad Rheingans taking on Rocky Stone. Right, opening match. Rock and Roll Buck Zumwalt versus Steve Regal. Not that Steve Regal, Mr. Electricity. Steve Regal. We had Jerry Lawler taking on John Tolos. We had an NWA World Women Tag Team match. Joyce Grable and Wendy Richter. Joyce Grable and Wendy Richter defeated Judy Martin and Velvet McIntyre. Wahoo McDaniel defeats Eddie Boulder, who we all know as Brutus Beefcake. A 6-man match. Blackjack Lanza, Jesse Ventura, Ken Patera defeat Rick Martel and the High Flyers of Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell. In the AWA heavyweight title match, we had Nick Bockwinkel defeats Hulk Hogan. And we'll get into that match, so that's important. And then in the tag team matches, your main events, Mad Dog Vachon and Vern Gagne versus Adnan El-Kaisei and Jerry Backwell. Now, since this was closed-circuited, now I'm not sure how many closed-circuit locations they had for this event. This event predates Starrcade. So when they say Starrcade is the first pay-per-view of all time, I disagree. I think it's Super Sunday. Especially with the matches. This card is better than WrestleMania 1, just looking at it. Hot take indeed. Now, there may have been a Super Sunday 82, but I don't know if that was closed-circuited. And that may have also had Bockwinkel and Hogan on top. Let me see. No. So, again, when they say, oh, Starrcade is the first pay-per-view, or WrestleMania, the granddaddy of all, you say, nah, homie, Super Sunday. That's what started it all. You did have some very minor local celebrities, a guest ring announcer, and what have you, but overall, looking at Super Sunday, other than the fucking... other than the Hogan Bockwinkel match, which is the fucking shit show, a pretty good show. Now, this is why I hate Lord James Blears.
Uh-oh.
So we had Hulk Hogan, facing Nick Bockwinkel for the AWA World Heavyweight Championship. This is April of '82. Again, he wouldn't go to WWF until December of '83. So this is April of '83. Hulk Hogan wouldn't go to the WWF until December of '83. And Hulk Hogan is red hot here. The crowd goes nuts. The crowd's electric. Everyone's going Hulk, 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 right? Nick Bockwinkel's your champion. They had raised ticket prices to get this match. So again, they raised ticket prices. So everyone came into this building thinking that Hogan was going to beat Bockwinkel. And you know what they do, Matt?
Oh, no.
They do a fucking dusty finish.
Oh, boy.
Where you think Hulk Hogan wins the belt, but no. He loses on disqualification because he threw Nick Bockwinkel over the top rope. And what fucked the match, because it's a good match. I mean, if you want to watch Hogan wrestle, because he's with Bockwinkel, right? He's working hard, right? Yeah. This isn't like 1987 Hogan where, he's not working hard. He's working hard. But the guest referee is fucking Lord James Blear, who's like the worst fucking referee with the fucking slowest count. So he would count 1, 2, and then Bockwinkel kicks out.
Wow.
It's like, if you watch that match again, you would think that fucking James Blear is like fucking on the take from fucking Bockwinkel. Like he took money from Bockwinkel.
The Bronco Lubitsch approach?
Yeah. But he did it. But I don't think that was even an angle because I would have played that up. Vern Gagne was like, oh yeah, fucking Blear's fucking fucked up the whole match. But Blear's counted the 3 on Bockwinkel. So Hogan beats Bockwinkel, but fucking Stanley Blackburn, the AWA president, fuck that guy too. said that no, Hogan threw not Bockwinkel. They did the ref bump. They did the ref bump. He throws Bockwinkel over the top or whatever. He goes over the top, and that's. But that's after you get the 1-2. Hogan has the belt in the ring. He's posing with the belt.
Damn.
And Oakland has to go there and explain to the crowd, and I thought they were going to fucking riot. Of course, they said, "Oh, we're going to bring it back," but they never brought it back. Hogan never won the belt.
Yeah.
And that was probably the beginning of the end for the AWA. Now, the AWA would continue to have some pretty good years because after Hogan left, you know who they brought in? The Road Warriors.
Slaughter?
No, it was the Road. Slaughter came in a little bit later. They brought in the Road Warriors, and you would see like Harley Race and Larry Hennig versus the Road Warriors and shit. But I'm not going to get into the downfall of AWA. They just had a bunch of old dudes who wrestled each other a million times. Their young guys couldn't get any traction. So when you have a big jacked up guy like John Nord who's getting beat up by a 50-year-old fucking Mad Dog Vachon, it looks funny. Or Baron Raschke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have a Scott Hall who's 290 and jacked. It doesn't look good. And not only these guys are getting out wrestled, they're getting fucking out brawled, and they're fucking like huge. That's my hot take on Super Sunday, the real first wrestling pay-per-view.
Oh, nice.
So speaking of, I know on the last week's episode we talked about the return of Starrcade. That would be Thanksgiving, and that would be in Greensboro Coliseum. That's great. Rock and Roll Express is going to wrestle on that show.
Nice.
Against the club, so that's pretty cool to see. Hopefully it's a network special and we'll get to see it because I definitely want to check that out. But we just got news this week that not only Starrcade is returning, but NXT is doing the War Games.
Yeah.
Holy shit. 2 rings. I think it's 3 teams. I'm not 100% sure on the rules, but they brought back the motherfucking War Games. We've been asking for this since they bought out WCW in 2001. So this, again, this has to be a Triple H decision because Vince is not going to do that shit on fucking a pay-per-view. But if it does well, you never know. You might see that. You may see that come back.
Yeah,
on a legitimate pay-per-view. I mean, on a main roster pay-per-view, would it be Raw or SmackDown? We can see Halloween Havoc come back because that'd be a great October pay-per-view. We can have. I want to see the Battle Bowl, not so much the Battle Bowl, but more the Lethal Lottery. Who knows? We might see the Ready to Rumble cage, the 3 cages on top of each other, the Tower of Doom, essentially.
Yes,
come back. Like they own these properties, right? They own these properties, so why not use them? I know you didn't create them, but you own them. They own. They own Florida. Like, why can't we get the Last Tango in Tampa? Or some of these other events. And they brought back Clash of Champions. What's old is new again, right? With so many people of my age who are hardcore fans who remember the NWA days and remember back WCW days, and we're gonna be clamoring for this stuff. Look how much money they do in just like autograph signings and conventions now. Like that whole market has exploded. Where I can meet Gene Okerlund and Butch Reed and Tony Atlas and Rocky Johnson. I mean, that's fantastic. So I think they're going to be catering to, hopefully they'll be catering to a more old school fan with, some of these other shows. Like, again, bringing back the War Games is a big freaking deal. Matt, what's your favorite War Games match?
I think the first one.
The first one with.
I know some of those people like the other ones, but I think it had a lot of elements to it that were really enjoyable. And plus, J.J. Dillon getting hurt legit was fun.
Broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
For me, my favorite War Games match. There's some bad ones too. So let's throw out 98. I think they did a weird one on 2000. It wasn't on pay-per-view. It was on the Nitro. 98 was like the fucking 3 teams, the Ultimate Warrior, and everybody. Fuck that shit. And you may want to throw out the one with Dusty Rhodes and the Nasty Boys. So it's Dusty and Dustin Rhodes and the Nasty Boys taking on the Stud Table. Oh, Terry Funk's in it. So. And then you want to throw out the Freebirds and Samoa SWAT team versus, I forget who was on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
That 89, I believe that one was.
How about that one?
That was ridiculous. But I really enjoyed 91 and 92 are my 2 favorites. So that's, Sting Squadron, or it's, the dudes with attitudes if you're 91. Those were really, really good. I think Sting Squadron versus the Dangerous Alliance is probably the best one, in my opinion.
Dangerous Alliance.
Yeah, so it was Rude, Steve Austin, Zbyszko, and Bobby Eaton.
Nice.
And Zbyszko, maybe Arn Anderson was in there too. Yeah, Arn Anderson was in
Yeah,
there.
he
too.
was.
They did a cool finish where Zbyszko rips off the top turnbuckle, and has that bar.
Yeah.
And he goes like to whack either Nikita Koloff or fucking Steamboat. He misses and hits fucking Bobby Eaton on the arm, and then Bobby Eaton has to submit in an armbar because broke his fucking arm. He hit it with a fucking pipe. Overall, It's pretty ridiculous. All right, guys. So we are rapidly running out of time. Our next show will be again a TV taping. It will be the best of the NWA from across the country, and we have a very special topic on our next show. This came up in our Facebook group, and the question was, what would ECW be if they never went out of business? So, full disclosure, when I was coming up with the concept of the NWA 1983 project, the plan B was the ECW 2002 project, which I would have went through literally from A to Z. And this would be a little bit more interesting because, everyone does this. This is what everyone does. Oh, if ECW was still in business, you would have saw CM Punk, he would have been champion, and Rob Van Dam versus CM Punk. Everyone talks about booking decisions or creative. But there's a business element that's tied to this. So the question becomes, in all reality, how do you get from $6 million in debt with Paul Heyman to a viable company moving forward? And I think that's where we want to talk about. We'll go over the creative stuff and who would have ended up in ECW and what it would be as a brand in terms of creative, but we have to get this business portion out of the way first because it's important. So we're going to talk about that on the next show. So be on the lookout for that. So for Matt Riley, I'm